She has a plan, a secret mission filled by gratitude and affection. She chooses her mother's favorite breakfast. Delight Foods, House Sakoko, a harmonious blend of flavors crafted with care and devotion. The taste of tradition and comfort. In that moment, their connection deepens, a bond strengthened by a shared experience. Delight Foods, House Sakoko, a delicious breakfast made with care and love in just 2 minutes.
My name is Fernanda Samoa, Director and CEO of Second Generation IT Group. Guess what? We are currently in Ghana, and we're going to offer the best courses that will allow you to work anywhere in the world. The courses that we're going to offer, we're talking about cloud computing. We're talking about introduction to computers, networking, network security, cyber security.
We have a conducive learning environment, and our programs are interactive, where the students get to ask questions and they get answers that's going to help them, and we equip them with the right knowledge.
Classes are offered Monday through Friday. It depends on which day you want to come. We have morning shift, we have afternoon schedule, we have evening schedule, and also on the weekends. To register, go to www.secondgenit.com and register.
Funding wallets on TapTapSend. Step 1. Click on Create Ghana Cedi Wallets below when you open the app. Step 2. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana Cedis. Step 3. Click on the Confirm and Fund wallet below to confirm. Step 4. Your wallet has been successfully funded. Step 5. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana Cedis. Step 6. Select or add new recipient. Step 7. Choose wallet as payment method. Step 8. Click on the Pay with Wallet below to confirm. Step 9. Your transaction is successful.
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job? Then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
Thank God it's Friday. We have about SVTV Africa, so we're live and I'll share and Friday. Danyamia says at the party. I'll be joining and there. Your first time I'm making sure say over like a page, over share. No, invite your friends to my joining. To share on Facebook or live or SVTV Africa, YouTube SVTV Africa, YouTube channel. No, I tap subscribe. So I go calling at subscribe me so. I don't mind be on me so. Now for questions, bro, lawyer, or woman so questions be up so be sana every Friday be am in baso. Lawyer wisdom account. You can come on and never be the I see I'm the UK and US and come on. Let's go back to Schengen so. And I'm the Schengen for the General Bramont. And my main straight I'm in lawyer wisdom, a wise man solicitors, or one or so. I'm in Indian como. And then in community, the door super until what baby children, so nobody baby son, making sure say, oh, share Facebook, over share, show YouTube, so over share. Now for questions in the brand them. Tienko Street, lawyer. Me want to call about what here.
DJ, me DJ, so at saying.
Mr. Moya, another week, but last week went to me and my lawyer. I'm more never any come and tell no about the Anova.
Thank you. No, set our cover for us nicely. Thank you. It's you for hello. We did this over here.
Obiang so and now say I share day.
Yo, DJ, me that's you. And then no, we per se talk to the application system, the fees. I say I can't pay my fees. I am desperate. What can I do to renew my visa? System ayewoi, UK system ayewoi. There were different types of asitna. A British citizenship is the ultimate. A indefinite leave to remain. A limited leave to remain, which can consist of discretionary leave to remain or leave to remain as a parent or as a partner. Now, the more limited leave to remain, it means that as I said, we renew every time ever expire. Now, before ever expire, you have to renew. So times are very hard now, very, very hard. And so, we application. If you're on a limited leave to remain, as I said, will to home office fee. But enyo biana ebenye sikana. So how can you renew your leave to remain without having to pay? Assuming say a won kwan, that is fine. A woni woma, what do you do? So the person make sure, how can I can't pay my fees. You can't pay your fees and you are desperate. What can you do to renew your visa? A crow women no say, visa wu, and our visa could no one extend here. The everything is you will become an overstayer, and a lot of things will happen to me and you. So I want to look at how you can renew your visa. Where then I renew a visa, what require home office application fee and now the IHS fee. But before I know, we perceive this so briefly. And no has to do with Yate and Yaka about this e-visa. The problem is a binomo air besami say Mayadan and a Miami e-visa. And now Hinamuna ever say SSM e-visas. So I'll take my time, 5 minutes, to go through what it means. We've treated this already, but I want to look at it again briefly. The first thing is the purpose of the e-visa is that they want to remove all physical documents. In other words, from 2024, December 31st, you don't need to have a physical document and sana watch us say who are sitting at Okrom. And he has a overcrowd biometric card and a biometric permit. No watch us who are sitting at Okrom. The home office for somebody be via a system no so. I bet me I check who are sitting anywhere, anytime, any day, any place, as long as you have access to internet. Bet me I check who are sitting at. And to number one, Sir Okra British passport, you don't have to do the e-visa. Okra British passport won't get e-visa. That is one. Number two, Okra Irish passport won't get e-visa. You don't have to. Number three, Okra, if you have a right of abode, also won't get e-visa. Obi visa said there any right of abode. Right of abode ye obi a wabetna from her wanya ni indefinite. And then wakoso akonya ni British citizenship. But also on British passport. And our British citizenship, yaman certificate no as a British citizen. Nanso or using Ghana passport. And to the home office. And now almost stamp and now sitting be a similar man of it, net be a similar man who said, "Wono, we are British, Nanso, Ukra Ghana passport." And to British citizenship, no, you see Ghana passport no more. And no, any friend the right of abode. And to Uda Ukra Ghana passport, Nanso, near Simono, a British citizenship. And no, any idea of any right of abode. Who have right of abode? Once home office for said, right now, you don't have to do the e-visa. But they will come back to us later as to what people who have the right of abode will have to do. And now you can say there, almost you don't have to do the e-visa. So that is for people who have British passport, Irish passport, and right of abode holders. Mono, you don't have to do the e-visa. So that is for your information right now. And the hina na SSA or e-visa no. One, so okra biometric residence card SSA we e-visa. Biometric residence card. So usha card na so near trust residence card. It means that unya was sitting under the EU law, another EU law, and unya was sitting under. I know you're friend of biometric residence card and a residence card. One as a so e-visa. When you go online and you register to get your details on the e-visa system. So that is one. Number two, so UKRA biometric residence permit also as a set where the e-visa. So we have residence card and we have residence permit. We have residence card for EU nationals and their family members, or EU national family members, and your residence permit for younger you under the UK law. No, under the UK immigration law, monamuwo biometric residence permit, biometric residence card, omo under EU law. You all have to do the e-visa. Very, very important. You have to do the e-visa. The third category of SSA e-visa here. Your passport. Home office for the big net. And I'll sticker be a simono. Once to SSA we are the e-visa. Over here e-visa now. Because from the 31st of December 2024, you don't need a physical document. Would you better say my visa here and I'm sitting here. The visa is going to be electronic. The Ukra passport. The sticker sim, Vignet sim, and a visa sim one. Once to SSA we are the e-visa now. Very important. The other category of SSA we have e-visa here. Young and so yeah, that's Ukra passport. The stamp is simu. Purple wet ink stamp is simu. The answer to say, indefinite leave to be here. Also, as a set we e-visa. Yeah, mama no be, and I papa no be. Might not come hard check. Old passports no. Ya pack it. I was so old one no more than indefinite AC. But a new passport now the account and a big crap more than 4 or 5 passports. Now so first one no more than indefinitely AC. Wo sign panel as a set we e-visa. And sana wait to me at was what na from her. Or as evidence set with from her in accordance with the rules or legally. And if you can do it yourself, please do it. So I want to me seek legal advice. Not a lawyer no, and our legal representative no. On the application for you onto the e-visa system. So that is that. So, in summary, Ukra British passport, unya e-visa. Ukra Irish passport, unya e-visa. Ukra right of abode, unya e-visa now. But Ukra indefinite, our card so over here e-visa, biometric residence card. Ukra indefinite biometric residence permit also over here e-visa. And then set Ukra passport Vignet is similar, stamp is similar, and sticker is similar. Also over here e-visa application. And now Ukra stamp passport this stamp is similar. I just said sit now also over here e-visa. So these are the categories of people SSA on here e-visa no. then ubetumi atukwan, ubetumi aba without any problems because who the right to be in the UK. And immigration officers betumi check you are sitting, employer betumi check you are sitting, then you can work and stay in the UK without any problems. Kakra ebe ka enche bia bibia be facial recognition. Ukope edwuma mpo a me gidi se screen be wo ho, and if you want to go to work, wo ha kwagina machine bi enim, ebe ready wenim, ebe scan eye wo a na abuya ma na wako. Enye wo a embie ma wontumi enko. Ano nti na ehia se so wo krom ha wunia sitna, whatever you have to do legally to get your stay in this country, bomoding na ehwe se wobeye the necessary application a wobenya wasitna e wo krom ha, because akaka kra enche bia enche kra se wunia sitna, this country will be unlivable for you. Wontumi entina krom ha. It's going to be very difficult or almost impossible for Obi Awunia Sitinana, Betna Kroma. Now I'm saying, from the information I gather, cleaning jobs, Empono, so we a manager, Awafa Obi Wejumamua, as a someone non nipano, who manager no, only nipano be picture. Na Udi edge, let's say, ampa, why are your necessary checks? Set Sandy pay. Minimum I've done all the necessary checks. And it's a home office for ba. Now all the whole set nipa for and a juma or that's just a home manager no, you're going to be in trouble. The employer will be charged or be fined £40,000. Uye a repeat offender, you'll be fined £60,000. No employer wants to pay that amount of money. And until na said you have to ensure. So, please do what you have to do to get your leave to remain in this country. Do what is in accordance with the rules. So, in this country, and American say everything is now going to be electronic, e-visas, and then you can stay in this country without any difficulties. And yes, sir, very soon, very soon. Very, very soon, it will be almost impossible for you to stay in this country. So we need assist now. Share cleaning and it is going to other sectors. Construction for and so here you're going to do facial recognition before you can go into your place of work. If the system doesn't recognize you, you cannot go to work. And if you can't work, you can't pay your rent. You can't have a bank account. You can't rent a house. If you are here illegally, you can't do all of this. And that becomes a huge problem. And see, this is just caution. The way things are gradually, the trajectory on which we are, the way things are going, the e-visa, the next one, nobody knows what is going to happen. So when you are sitting from her, it's going to be tough to survive in this environment. So that is for your information. Please do what you have to do in accordance with the rules. Now I sit down that you can have peace of mind. You can travel in or out without any problems. So that is to start. DJ Uwo question here. I want to respond to that. Otherwise, I'll continue with the topic for the day.
Continue.
Thank you. Thank you. So today I want to look at how can I pay my fees? I can't pay my fees. Sorry. I cannot pay my fees. Meanwhile, your visa is expiring. You have 2 months for your visa to expire, for your leave to expire. And you can't pay your fees. There is no money from anywhere. How can you renew your visa so that you don't become an overstayer? I've already mentioned that if you don't have visa to be in the UK, you can't work, you can't rent, you can't drive, you can't have a bank account, you can't use the NHS. A lot of things you can't do. So to stop yourself from becoming an overstayer, what can you do if you have a leave already? Number one, bibi wɔ hɔ a yɛfrɛ no fee waiver. But before I go to the crust of it, home office fee is not very high. Home office fee is £1,048. 1048. That is the home office fee. £1,048. Then you have to pay IHS, Immigration Health Surcharge, which is £2,587.50. It was 1,560, but this government has raised it from 1,560 and on the account £2,587.50. That is for the IHS. And to what day? Home office fee, 1,048. Any IHS, 2,587.50. What the name no lobo one? £3,635.50. That is, so you won't want and a weird application. You have to pay £3,535, £3,635.50. 3635.50. So media, I just call it 3636. But actually it is 3635.50. But I just run it up to 3636. That is if it is you alone. So when you buy any application now, you have to pay times 2. And that is £7,271 and some change. £7,271, yes, for 2 people. That is £10,906.50. £10,906.50. 10906.50 if you are 3 applicants. So Sanetia, the question is, can you get all this money within 2.5 years for your application? Can you afford £10,906.50 for yourself and 2 children? So Sikano anywhere. Na pesa wasitna nibewa. Then what you have to do is you have to apply for the fee waiver. Fee waiver. But before I go into that again, I want to digress a bit. Sawo umbani wo krom ha. Nasa abufrane di 7 years wo krom ha. You don't have to add that child to the application to pay. You don't have to. Mami sisubiom. Sawo ubano ewo krom ha. Nasa ubano with this 7 years uba to make a application for indefinite leave to remain for the child. You don't have to pay for that child. You can apply for fee waiver for the child and the child gets indefinite leave straight away. You don't have to be doing 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 for the child. What you can do is apply for indefinite for the child if the child was born in the UK. But if the child was born from outside, then you don't have an option. If you can't pay, then you have to go for the fee waiver in that case. So that is it. And within your first 2.5 years, which year, second 2.5 years, which year, third one, there is no point to pay if the child is nearing 10 years. So what you can do is, 10 years, don't waste money by applying or paying for the 2.5 years. You can just wait. 10 years, you go for British citizenship for the child. If the child turns 10 years, you apply for the British citizenship for this child. Don't waste money applying for 2.5 years when you can just wait for maybe a few months for the child to be a British citizen when they turn 10 upon registration. So you can just hang on for the child to turn 10, then you register the child, you get a certificate, and then you apply for the British passport for the child. You don't have to waste money. You don't have to waste £3,635 and 50p. You don't have to do that. The child was born in the UK and is 7 years, go for indefinite. If the child was born in the UK and the child is 10 years, go for British citizenship. And you save yourself a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of hassle. You keep yourself out of all the financial stress. So now let me go straight to the main topic. If you cannot afford, so want to me enter home office fee, because sika anywhere, yeah, idea your friend fee waiver. Fee waiver no, over to me share under section 95 of the Immigration and Asylum Act 1991. Say, as a soldier say you are destitute. Destitution, actually say, under this definition, you do not have adequate accommodation or any means of obtaining it. Maybe I want if you want a honey yet, only adequate accommodation, and I wouldn't see cancer, would be share, and I would be share another renty baby. But you are able to meet your living and essential needs. What to me, Didi? What to me? You can look after yourself and Uma, but you don't have enough money for accommodation. Go sani pano, you say you are destitute. Go sani pano, you are destitute. So, if you do not have adequate accommodation and you don't have the money or the means of getting adequate accommodation, even though you're able to eat, you're able to feed your wife, yourself, and your children, you are still regarded as a destitute person. The second definition is you have adequate accommodation. Then one is okay, but you don't have enough money to feed yourself, and you cannot meet your living and essential living needs. Again, you are deemed as a person who is destitute. So it's either you have enough accommodation, but you don't have enough for food, or you have enough for food, but you don't have enough for accommodation. If you fall in one of these categories, you are regarded as a person who is destitute. And once you are destitute, you qualify for this thing we call the fee waiver. And that comes under section 95 of the Immigration and Asylum Act 1999. You have to show that you are destitute. If you can't show that you are destitute, you will not qualify for the fee waiver. Now, also, you have to show that your human rights will be affected if you are not given the fee waiver for you to extend your leave. So that is what it is. What it is. Applicants must demonstrate by way of evidence that they are destitute. As a Sawuchira said, truly, when is sika, when you told Bianiama one woman, and now when is sika, when you were rented dying, society, that you are regarded as Obia Oye destitute. Now, how do you prove that you are destitute? How do you prove it? Number one, assess your income and your expenditure. It is a way juma, maybe one job, 2 jobs. You have to total all the fees, all the money that you earn, your salary. Maybe in your income you earn, let's say, £1,500 a month. That is how much you earn a month. £1,500 a month. That is all the money you get. And your expenditure, you have different and various amounts of expenses, which is your rent. Your rent is maybe £550. Remember, you earn 1,005. Your rent is £550 into account 950. Then your food alone, maybe you spend 450 because with VR everything is gone up now. Things are very expensive. So maybe you are alone, so you spend 450 for food, for maintenance. Or maybe you have children, so maybe you spend £750 a month or maybe more a month. If you can use the income support level to calculate how much your maintenance threshold is, that will be very helpful. Now, once you can show that, you must be able to add all your expenses, you must subtract all your expenses from the balance. So we said you earn 1,500, your rent is 550, you are left with, let's say, 950. Your food is 450. If you take it out of the 950, you are left with 500. You have to add your utility, gas, water, electricity, telephone bills, broadband, clothing, loans, toiletries, laundry, barbers. All this you have to add everything. Now, once you are able to collate all of this, you'll see that your income is less than your expenditure. And say, Utria credit card, £100 a month. As I said, you have to list it. Travel, Uta travel card, and a bus pass. Every month, you have to take that out of how much is left. Remember, you only have 500 left now. You take travel card, maybe 100 or 80 out of it. You take your credit card payment of, let's say, 100 out of it. Your gas, water, electricity, let's say £100 out of it. Maybe you have a child or your children, school dinner, you have to take it out of it. You have to look at your mobile phone, how much do you pay? You go to the barbers, how much do you pay? They take £20 upon every section, or sometimes more for a section. Telephone calls, telephone broadband, how much do you pay? Telephone and broadband, how much do you pay? £75 and not £85. Maybe you have other additional repayments. You have loans that you repay, toiletries, everything. I've mentioned laundry, I've mentioned hairdressing and everything, cosmetics, entertainment, drinks, smoking. If you do all of this, over here said, your money is whittled away. When this is over to me, now there application. Once you set it up very well, the Home Office would look at the facts you have presented, and then they will then decide whether they should give you the fee waiver. Now remember, you can get a fee waiver for only the application fee and for only the IHS, or you can get a fee waiver for both of them. So you can get a fee waiver for application fee alone, or you can get a fee waiver for IHS and the application fee. So if it is for only the IHS, you have to be specific that you are applying for only fee waiver for the IHS alone. And no, they'll consider the IHS alone, which is £2,587.50. If it is for the Home Office fee alone, that is $1,048. You have to be specific that you apply for the fee waiver for just that. So you also have to state whether your circumstances have changed or how your circumstances have changed. You have to do this. Then you go to the form. There's an application form. Fee waiver. Go to FLRFP. If you go there, it will give you an option for fee waiver application. Click the fee waiver application. Don't click the FLRFP application from the fee waiver section. Or if you want, you can just go to Google and enter fee waiver application online. It will pull out the form for you and you can complete it. It will show for you to complete the form, fill in all the necessary boxes, tick all the necessary sections, submit your application for your fee waiver to be considered. Now, what we have realized is that ebinom wɔ sika, ebinom wɔ sika a wɔde atɛ, nanso wɔpɛ aban sika, nti na wɔahyɛ da akɔyɛ sɛ yɛpɛ aban sika nti mongye momma yɛn fee waiver no mene sika a yɛde bɛtua. The Home Office will conduct their checks, Equifax check. Account a wɔ kurom ha nyinaa, all the accounts you have with all the banks you have account with, it will show ɛbɛyɛ aba sɛ wowɔ asetena ɛbɛyɛ aba sɛ wowɔ accounts sika a ɛwɔ mu no, it will show. It will not show to the Home Office, but Home Office will ask for the statements. They will ask for 6 months bank's statement. 6 months bank's statement. The Home Office will ask for 6 months bank's statement. So 6 months bank statement now. Sika ekomu biya more than £100. You have to explain. And the printed bank statement no, natural bank statement no, so 6 months bank statement for pen natural so, and the £100 a pay ABI is for food shopping, and to actual food shopping against that £100 no. ABI what's the sika tap to Ghana and watch money for my mother's medical bills. Watch home. And now money to maintain my old man, my old lady, my mom of 89 years old. Watch home. ABI was storage. We never do storage. In the storage quantity, £120. No actual storage fee. No actual home. And now ABI, why your payment may the amount will be, you have to write it against the payment to Kojo for as a refund for the money or the loan he gave me. No actual and also. You have to annotate your bank account and make it very clear that they can read it and know exactly what it is for. Sika eba account mo nyina no. If there's any cash deposit in your account, then make sure you explain and also. Any cash deposit which is more than £100, as I said, which let the biasikano efi ever. As I said, which let the biasikano efi ever. Now, a year almost be for 6 months, and say account 8 months. Ubaya was it now, and over renewal. Now, when them say sika bi fifa account no mu a edi problem be ba ebrebre no. Make catch yourself to hunfo. Say account 8 months, account 10 months, no akwaye renewal. Na sika bi eda so efa account mo wadamfo bi oye susu na mo de sika na ma na wo de ato account mo ana ono on me transfer to Ghana into the amount. Also de ato account mo ansa na wo transfer. Ebetime aha wo application very well. And non say near SSA we understand. Ansana ubaya application 6 months before ubaya wo application. Make sure say wo account mo clean. Sikabia sikabia emfim and sikafim mpo you can explain what the monies are for. And yes sir, omegina so na omodi a refuse application. Now, so you have 10 working days out with the application. Now, you use the code. They will give you a code. I'll use this code, and I would have submitted application. Now, wait to me, and you will sit now. I will come. Now, so say you have 10 days again. Say, would the sika na would the payment for the application. Say the amount. Now, say now say you still believe, sir, you are eligible for the fee waiver. What me assign another application. but make sure you do it the same day. And yes, sir, was section 3C, no, I said, no, one shot, a bit a 2 track, not want to mean Yejuma, employer, and my own transfer in Yejuma. So make sure that if your fee waiver is refused, you submit another fee waiver the same day. Make sure you submit it the same day. And on that grounds or on that basis, you are still protected by Section 3C if you had leave to be here at the time you made the fee waiver application. Make sure you submit it before the same day. Don't wait for a day or two, submit it the same day. What documents would you need? What documents would you need to submit your fee waiver application? To make a successful fee waiver application, it's not just about making the application. You want a successful outcome to your fee waiver application. You would need, I've already mentioned it, 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statements. Sɛ wowɔ mmaa anaa wowɔ nkwadaa na sɛ ɔmo nso ɔmo wɔ bank statements and ɔmo wɔ account you need to produce the 6 months bank statements for all your children. Sɛ waware you need the bank statement for 6 months for your husband or your wife as well. Not just you, but you and all your family members who are applying for the fee waiver, or all the family members who are members, all the people who are members of your household. No, as I said, would you on bank statement 6 months? Some will you my pay slip 6 months, and no, and I would give a acquire application. I don't take Messi Subium. So when them say I got 10 months, I will acquire application. That's a security prefer for account no more. Not about creative problem on my way. It's 6 months before the time. Make sure that your account is okay. So obi na ya wodi sika mawa ka chen say menua to me and this bill because it will create problem for me. Home office go back say me wo sika no enye wudi e be create problem amount. So I would say if you can, please avoid having or collecting people's money or somebody's money to put in your account because it will reflect in the account on the statement, and the Home Office will want you to explain where that money came from and what it was for. It can create a lot of problems for you. So please be mindful and take note of that. 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statement of all your family members or all the people who are relying on you or people who are members of your household or those who are applying for the fee waiver. They must provide their bank statement. If they don't have a bank statement, that is okay, not a problem. You need your tenancy agreement. If you have one, you need a tenancy agreement. So, obi support you financially. As I said, Nipano, actual letter to explain, sir, Kofi, me support it, yeah, me man, £200 every month because the car original, Sikano Iswa, and I support her every month with £200. So as a sort of letter, possibly I saw the copy of the letter and the passport. So but to me that is fine. And as I would see Obinchen, who are Obinchen, Wadam for Binchen, I would hear. As I saw Wadam for no Emma letter, I just said, or no, I support you financially, and I wouldn't net it. But any idea about me, I support you financially. I don't see what your mom will be at that mom, but financially, and any idea about me, I share Home Office fee and IHS fee for you. And not in the SSL government, amount fee waiver, which are your application, so that you don't become an overstayer. So that is that. So who you will be because when you be now, you hop from bus to bus. Night bus, you take one night bus from here, Uduha, no one change it, Uduha, no one change it, Sanet here. And now you go to the last stop, Uduha, then just wait for the next night bus. No one to one end. You have to let the Home Office know that you are destitute. You are destitute. Unia sitna, and now I pay no person your application. But when it's the car, we give your application. So they have to look into your condition and help you to get your fee waiver sorted. Now, wait me and also now the application to be in the UK. So passport, copy, payslips, bank statement, tenancy agreement, letter of support of anyone who supports you, your children's passports, the children's birth certificate, you can add it, and of course your children's bank statements if they have it. You can get a letter from your employer. So these are the documentations you will need to support your fee waiver application. These are the documentations you will need to support your fee waiver application. And the application must be made under Section 95 of the Immigration Act, of the Immigration, what do you call it? Of the Asylum, Immigration and Asylum Act 1999. Immigration and Asylum Act 1999. That is where you make it, and you have to prove that you are destitute. If you are not destitute, or if you haven't proved enough, or if you can't prove enough that you are destitute, almost fact you waiver no emma. It means you need to please ensure that you find money to pay for your application. Let me put it this way. So when it's say over to your application fee now, if you are expecting some money, but you don't have money right now to pay your application fee, don't wait for your visa to expire. Don't wait for your leave to expire. Please still put in the application for the fee waiver. Put in the application. Your leave is automatically extended. If it extends it, later, unya sika, no your application, no, now you can withdraw the fee waiver application. Mamen Sisubio, dear, aka 2 days. Who are sitting on the bill. Who needs sika with the application fee? Once unya sure the fee waiver near the mama, please put in the fee waiver application. Fee waiver application unya yen and na was sitting on the MWE and that's so at was sa copim time at home office every decision. And it's a kodamo 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Still no, who does who have a miracle. Whilst I would pay sika, set would the home office fee or the IHS fee. But who trying now was sitting on the you become an overstayer. And as an overstayer, it becomes difficult for you to switch to another category or to extend your leave if you've not been able to do whatever it takes to get it sorted. So my advice is whatever you have to do to avoid being an overstayer, please do that. If you have to put in a fee waiver application, please put in a fee waiver application. It will extend your leave whilst you are looking for finances to sort out the application. So DJ, this is what it is. The things you have to take into account: your rent, your travel, your car, credit cards, utility bills, gas, water, electricity, telephone bills, food, school dinner, clothing for children, mobile phone, telephone, broadband, loans, toiletries, laundry, hairdressing, entertainment, drinking, smoking. All these things you have to put all together. That is, if you drink or smoke, you have to add it to it. If you don't drink or smoke, then of course you can't add those to it. You collect everything, and then certainly you put in the application with the supporting documents. I can assure you that it will be looked at properly, and if you are deemed to be fit or deemed to be eligible for it, it will be removed. Just a decision for somebody who is truly desperate. Please, so who sika ewa account mo men fa ente and a men being say omo they will do their searches or they will do their checks omo ho so account bi wo ho omo ka cho for account ni bra so go for account ni ba na se sika wo mo it creates the impression that people are not being honest. People are not being honest. I don't think people who have money will deliberately come back and say yemfa fee waiver and mawom now they can make application. I will leave it here, DJ. I'm sure there may be one or two questions about this or something else. If there is, I'll respond. If there is no questions to, then that will be it for the evening. So DJ, thank you. How to make a fee waiver application so that don't allow your leave to expire. Emma was it not who was sicko, who is sicko, but me won't mean to. If you think you are eligible for fee waiver, please put in your application. Don't wait. Otherwise, your leave will expire. You become an overstayer. Your employer will ask you to go home. You can't use the NHS. You can't run your bank account. There's so many things you can do. You can drive. You can rent if your leave expires. So I will leave it here with the caution that do not let your leave expire. If you don't have the money, apply for the fee waiver. Hello.
Okay, all right. Lawyer, before I more kind questions, so I feel now joining and the lawyer topic and lawyer they buy oh bibi a obeka fa one na say also bibi chire wadwen so betime bisa no na say empo oh bibi so chire wadwen so any other questions bi obesa bisa lawyer bi obetime bisa no ask lawyer nti betime bisa no mon fambra ntem ansa na ya sign out because you bought 7 wa say na ya pom na channel so every Fridays we am a lawyer a program from 5:30 GMT to 7 nti lawyer me a few questions being taken and yes, say about signing out. I think all the questions, but who be up so be signing biana, who say on Facebook, who show a YouTuber type or comment section or question be up so be lawyer. So lawyer, over to you.
Yo, DJ, thank you. Now, manya a scenario, very complicated scenario. Nyami Aduma next week. I want us to look at that. Very, very complicated scenario. I'll read it out for next week. But and then
okay, but lawyer, before we read this for next week, and before we reach out, if we say idea, okay, say 3 weeks and I say 3 weeks ago, and I say once a month, when I say 3 weeks and a month ago, me know your program you release switching link be or say how to switch.
Yes.
So on idea no. If he say be bring up a reach out here, the links in to out near there. But me say be after no, I'm be resist our way. Na me say switch way na say problem sponsorship way na say no.
Problem.
We no want to go UK or no. Omu nim sa there na. Ye nya abotre so ntie. Opportunities no ho but ye nya abotre ntie nti omu nim ne ekọ. Nti I feel say sisi at the time ko next week the audio app no say frustration in count.
DJ, I have problem. It's a huge problem. And I saw somebody here yesterday, and she was all tears. Because a sponsor now didn't have no or nye juma yet. A juma anyhow. As a sort of rent. Why are destitute? Why are you desperate? So desperate. And these are people who were in positions back home. And they have become subjected to all kinds of very, very unfair treatment from some employers, and it is so bad. Just this afternoon, I had to deal with a situation. It is just bad, DJ. It is so bad to the extent that from what I hear, some people's marriage is breaking down because of this.
Oh, I need a matibebre.
So bad. Because they have to survive. Marriages are breaking down because binimu abba, and with all kinds of conditions, they don't have the work to do. They don't want to go back home. So because we go back home, so I say waba nothing. And some employers are treating people like slaves. You drive 1 hour, for 30 minutes. You drive to another place 1 hour, you do a job for 30 minutes. And the whole day, DJ, you spend the whole day, you spend 8 hours in the day. A juma is just about 3 hours. and you'll be paid for only 3 hours rather than the whole time in and out that you've been working. And it is becoming a headache. It's becoming a whole lot of problem. And to next week, I think there are about 1 to 4 options to regularize their leave here. And I'll look at that next week. If you are in such a desperate situation, ABI employer and class we'll see how you can do some applications for you to at least be here legally whilst you're looking for other options. But it is so bad. DJ, it is so bad.
Ebi mo so de ahyehyɛ ɔmo ho, na ɔmo wu. Sɛ ɔde ahyɛ no ho.
I hear
Ɔmba out ana ɔnsusu ɔmba na ɔnsusu nsuo bi na nhwɛ sɛ ebi amoa bɛn, but ɔde ahyɛ no ho. I confused.
Obi Kanye recently said somebody committed suicide because of this. And I'm like, that is extreme. I mean, go back to your country. You're not going to die. Why do you kill yourself? There are people in Ghana. Go back to your country. You won't die when you go back to your country. Why do you commit suicide?
Lawyer, your problem near society. Your dream, the obi beka. And then a problem.
Yeah.
Your dream, me to kwaya kwaba na makosho na makohoso na mu se mfa mamia. Brabake. Na be starting nyama. Nti obi say obi say okwa abroche ba nti amfa ma no. Na obi omno kwa abroche. Ah, Charlie. Life with obi beti. So far as obi beti me about abroche mfa ma no. Obi back to Ghana be fa ma no.
And sadly, it happens.
And it's why ukwa abroche no ko bi no ya na mfa. It doesn't mean say we no. Bibi opportunity bet me apa just for you to have experience of the place, no.
Yes.
Nature person ko hu se na hospital so ko hu se na tienti unim.
So you have
you
have the bragging right. Say wakoda. You have the bragging right.
Yes, so you know it.
At least you have the bragging right that I have been there. But don't kill yourself. Don't commit suicide because you may want it, because what won't be via and things are not working. So you kill yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. And the next week, DJ, I think we'll look at that. I'll suggest 1 to 3 options here. Will be great to me at least just to switch. So let me look at this question. I'll say, hello, Mr. Kwarteng. Good evening. I am in the UK on a skilled worker visa. During my visa application, I didn't put on my children. Can I still bring them over to the UK, please? Well, it depends when you got your COS. If you got your COS before the change, I think the change was in March, then yes, you can still apply to bring your children to the UK. The fact that one application, you can do a DNA that will show that they are your children, and you can apply to bring them in. But remember, sir, won't ha wodi wo ba ne eba, that is a different thing. But so woni umuka fo na wo ha na se oba no enye emofra ne maame a ana abofra ne maame a, and you have to show your friend the sole responsibility, and that is becoming very difficult. They are just refusing a lot of children. So sanatia because if the children are not too old or they are not if they are quite young, because if you do it and it is refused, just hold on. When you're indefinite, you can apply to bring your children to join you here, and they will also come with indefinite leave to remain. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. If you got the COS before the change in the law, yes, you can still bring the children here. Even if you didn't put them on your account or on the form, you can still apply. Do a DNA. It will show that they are your kids. You can apply to bring them here. Hello, Vida. So I have to wait until I receive the link to set up the e-visa account. No, you don't have to wait until you receive the link. You can proactively go on the system yourself. Today, for instance, we did it for a client. What we did was we just went on the system, and that was yesterday. He just went on the system and then we created the e-visa account, and then we went through the process with him. So you can go on the system yourself. If the Home Office has sent you the link, yes, go ahead and do it. But if not, you can go and do it yourself. Hello, Don Arsenal. Evening, hope you're doing good. Yes, I'm good, thank you. I hope you're doing good too. How much do you need to renew your application? It depends on the visa type you are on. It depends on the visa type you are on. If it is um, family permit or family uh, application, you have 2.5 years as a parent or 2.5 years as a partner, the home office fee is £1,048. 1048. Home office fee is 1048. And you have to pay the IHS. The IHS is £2,587 and 80p. 2587.50. That is the IHS. And if you add these two, it is 3635.50. That is how much you need to extend or to renew your family leave to be in the UK. If you are on the private life, maybe you are here based on your 20 years long residence. You had 2.5 years to be here. And then the 2.5 years is expiring, you also have to pay the same amount of £1,048 plus the IHS of £2,587 and 50p. Unless you go for a fee waiver, you will have to pay that amount to be here in the UK. If you are on a skilled worker visa, the amount is different. If you are on a minister of religion visa, the amount is different. If you are applying as a graduate on a postgraduate route, the amount is different. So please take note of that. There are different fees for different applications to be in the UK. Thank you. Hello, Irene Aka. Hi. Explain how the judicial stages because my dependent is now going to judicial review. I should explain the judicial stages because your dependent is now going for judicial review. All right, this is what happens. I'll just summarize it. One, you make an application to the Home Office. The Home Office considers the documents you have submitted. The Home Office then assesses whether you or your dependent is eligible for the grant. If the Home Office considers the suitability and the eligibility, and they deem that your dependent or yourself is not eligible for the leave you have applied for or for the visa you have applied for, they would refuse the application. So that is the starting point. You have made an application, you've sent all the supporting documents, the Home Office has considered the documents, the Home Office deems that you don't or your dependent does not meet the requirement, and therefore they refuse the application. Now, if your application is refused, there are options. One, you may have the right of appeal. You can appeal the decision or you can appeal against the Home Office decision. If you have the right of appeal, then please go ahead and appeal against that decision. Sometimes you don't have the right of appeal. You may have something we call administrative review. Administrative review means you have to say that the caseworker made a wrong decision and therefore they have to reconsider the decision again. So you send that one back to the Home Office for the administrative review. If after the administrative review, the Home Office comes back to say they are maintaining the first decision and you still don't have the right to appeal, then you may decide to go for judicial review. Judicial review is to challenge the decision on a few bases that the decision maker has made an incorrect decision, etc., etc. Now, that is judicial review. You give the Home Office something we call PAP, P-A-P, P, or pre-action protocol, which means I want to take action against you because of the decision you have made, but I am giving you notice. I am giving you a pre-action protocol. I want you to try and see if you can solve the problem before I take it to court. You give the Home Office 14 days to respond to your pre-action protocol. Pre-action protocol, PAP, pre-action protocol. If the Home Office responds and say, oh yes, we think we made a wrong decision, then more or less they will reconsider and your leave will be granted to you. But if the Home Office maintains that no, the decision that was made is the correct decision, and therefore you can proceed to judicial review, then that is where you start the judicial review process to the upper tribunal. That is what you have to do. So at this stage, I am sure you have gone through the processes from the refusal to the admin review to the pre-action protocol. You are now at the stage of judicial review. Now, judicial review, remember, if it goes to judicial review, the court will not tell the Home Office to give you the leave. The court will only tell them to go and reconsider. The court will tell the Home Office to go and reconsider the decision. The Home Office can go and reconsider it again and tell you we are still maintaining our decision. So you just keep going round and round in cycles with the Home Office. So that is just a summary of the procedure in terms of how far you can go. So that is for your information. Hello, Stete Saki. If you use fake engagement pictures in support of your wife's visa and she is being banned for 10 years, but have applied for administrative review by using WhatsApp chat, would she be granted the visa? Well, if you use fake engagement pictures, first of all, you should not have used pictures that are not genuine. I have come on this program, I have advised that we shouldn't use documents that are not genuine because it creates all kinds of problems for us. So please, I wouldn't advise that should be done. Maybe you are asking for somebody, not for yourself, but maybe you're asking for somebody. If you make a fresh application and it is under Appendix FM, Section EC-P, there are some exemptions. Paragraph 9 and paragraph 9 does not apply to certain categories of applications when it comes to Appendix FM applications. That is a lot. I can't discuss it here. So I need to see what was the refusal, what application was it. You may have to come to the office because this is going to be detailed. I need to see what application it was, the basis of the refusal, whether the ban applies to her or not. The ban may not apply to certain categories of applications, but people don't know. The ban may not apply to certain categories, but people don't know. So therefore, it is possible to make a fresh application for your spouse to come to the UK without even having to stay for the 10 years ban. So I would like to have more information about that. You can take the office number 0208 0165 384 0208 0165 384, and we would consider if your spouse is affected by that or not, and then we can take it from there. Yes? Good. I'm just taking note of this. Lucas, hi Lucas. Lucas says, I have had a jury citation from a criminal court. The letter didn't state what the reason is. Lawyer, what should I do? Should I get a lawyer in the reporting day? A jury citation. Are you supposed to go for jury service? Is it jury service you have to go for? I am sure that is what it is. A lot of people get jury service letters and then they panic It's not because you have done anything. They want you to come and serve as a jury. You listen to the case of somebody who has been charged. And at the end of the day, you decide whether this person is guilty or not with the other jury members. So we need to know whether it is you that has been charged or you are going as a jury in somebody else's case. I think you are going as a jury, not as a victim or as somebody who has been charged for an offense. So you can, I think you don't need a lawyer to go with you. You can just present yourself on that day, or you can find out, you can talk to us, you can send us the letter, we'll review it and see whether it is just a review. Somebody called me the other day, he was afraid, he was panicking. Lawyer, minim the amaya, you see a member court. Mimpesa me coming here. Say, oh, David, unya here. Paleta ni brand, or the buy and say, yes, or no, embrabe jury, or no, never not be case, so at TSA, Sunny Penny, yes, why you know. I am pass away and yes, I am pass away. And dress a woman away bonnet. So I need to see that letter. Richard Bowency, how much does it cost for a skilled worker visa to have application? Skilled worker visa, I think I can quickly check for you to see how much it will cost you. Skilled worker visa, skilled worker. Okay, give me a minute. I will check it whilst I check this. Care worker visa. So let me see how much it comes up with. So we have the care worker visa. So we're looking at the cost. Switching to this one, how much it costs. It says up to 3 years is £284 per applicant. More than 3 years is £551 per person. And then you have to, yeah, so up to 3 years, it is up to 3 years is 284. More than 3 years is £551. And you must at least have 1,000. Yeah, so that is what it is. So for your information, that is what it is. But you can actually follow later and I'll check the, but what I've just seen is what I've just told you. We can find out later for more details. Frank Bobby, big ups, lawyer, big ups to you too, Frankie. I hope you're doing good. My employer is not giving me enough hours. What is the probability of his visa being renewed? Thank you. That is a problem for you. If your employer is not giving you enough hours, you have to start advising yourself. Because if the time comes for him to give you a letter after 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years that you have the right to be in the UK, that employer may not be able to give you that letter to show that you've been here in accordance with the rules, and that can be a problem for you. So, my advice is if you can start looking for another sponsor, possibly the NHS. Start liaising with the NHS proactively and intentionally, deliberately going out there to look for sponsorship from the NHS. That is one of the ways so that you can switch from this sponsor who is not giving you enough hours. Otherwise, the time will come and you have a lot of difficulties in renewing your visa. So please go for another sponsor or check with the NHS. You may be fortunate to get the NHS to sponsor you to switch. Otherwise, you may have a difficulty in renewing your visa when the time comes for you to do that. Yeah. Tom Oposuhai, will the Home Office accept marriage certificate from District Assembly or the court or the court Ghana without wedding ceremony with photos? Would the Home Office accept marriage certificate from the District Assembly or the courts from Ghana or in Ghana without wedding ceremony with photos? Well, it depends on the occasion. If the ceremony is a customary marriage and maybe you didn't go to Ghana, you didn't go, the family members did everything on your behalf, even that, there has to be some picture or there have to be some pictures. By all means, as long as the families sat to exchange drink, to exchange jewelry, to exchange all the gifts, you must have some pictures. If you don't have pictures at all, it discredits your ceremony. It discredits the belief that the relationship is genuine. I have dealt with one like that before. When the man didn't have any pictures at all, the Home Office called them for interview. So yes, if you don't have any pictures at all, they may call you for interview to check why you don't have pictures, or to establish that even in the absence of pictures, you are still able to prove that it's a genuine relationship. I would prefer that you have pictures to prove that the relationship is genuine. If you don't want to subject yourself to interview and scrutiny, please, if you can, provide pictures to prove that you were not there, but the families did everything on your behalf and the woman was there. If both of you are here, then of course the pictures will be taken from Ghana, genuine pictures, bright pictures, to prove that the families did everything on your behalf. That even though you were not there, they did everything on your behalf. But if you were both in Ghana, then you can't explain, you can't justify why you don't have pictures. So my advice would be, yes, they would accept the marriage certificate. They would accept the marriage certificate without the pictures, but it makes your case more difficult to prove. To make it easier for yourself, make sure the families have produced some genuine pictures to support your application. Thank you. DJ, I think we have come to the end of it, if that is it. Am I still online, DJ? Hello. Hello, 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 DJ. I am sure my DJ is there. Okay. Maybe something is freezing somewhere. If anybody can hear me, I would like to just conclude here, unless there are some additional questions for me. But clearly, next week I want to look at a scenario. We have had a scenario where two people came to the UK, a lady and the husband came to the UK, and when they got here, there was things didn't go as they planned, so they separated. And when they separated, the woman went and got pregnant with another person, and on that basis, the man went ahead to apply for British citizenship for the British passport for the child. The Home Office refused. The passport section refused the application because they didn't believe that the man is the father of the child. Now, the woman needs to have the child's passport. The question then is, how can they prove that the man, the second man, is the father of the child? Two, if he is able to get the birth certificate, the British passport for the child, is the woman able to apply for her leave based on that child? Then there's another scenario. If the husband or the previous man comes back to the man with the, if they come back to reconcile, come back to the lady to reconcile, is he also able to apply for leave to remain based on this child? So this is quite a complex scenario. We will look at it. We will look at it next week, God willing, and I will give you the response to this scenario. So I think there must be some issue from DJ's end. I will end it here today. God willing, next week, all things being equal, I will be with you next week. Thank you. DJ, if you can hear me, fine. If you can't, then I think I will just end it here for tonight. Thank you so much. I'm grateful, and God bless us all. Nyame enkaye nyina ho echina adipanche nyame aduma dasene yebesan Asia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, they are so unfortunate. Say, Mufanche na ade we de dum so happen sisi anti. Say yes, you call we to lawyer cry. Say my friend na me born amane. Mufanche mo share live enya light out sisi the whole area. Dum so no de wonim say yeah the air band de enye nti. Mama friend lawyer na ombra na make you just sign out. There you go. Make you sign out properly. Why? Brian signing out properly. Yeah, now it's me ako. Pity said I'm my friend lawyer back. I'm just on the friend, Miss. I say a bass anti. Me phone no I say so generator near identity. Move on chain. Or another program or baby, I'm better banner wrap it up. I think so. I answer almost more questions in aka 1 or 2 be umbrana. Wrap it up na uncle. But move on chain. Move on chain. When ye oh Ghana dia unim dia kosoa. The woman do light kafui. Yeah, some it could be. Anyway, we'll share live with SBTV Africa. Many lawyer wisdom akao. Na me say bimu bisa and contact near there, but we'll share videos so me the two screen so nti mo bisa the contact no office contact ne mobile number no and that screen so no nti we'll share videos so ta share me no programs na obo number wise man solicitors obo the contact number no screen so nti bit me applique so nya further info bia na opese come office ni ade a obetimi a link up nti me ntwen lawyer no mbra quick na yen wrap it ewa ha say yen wrap it out because yen wrap it up because also another program bi okwakoye so me twen lawyer mo amojoin ni na nyina no me da ma say James Saki me da say excuse me. James Sack, the Christ logic. Where? Ale, ya wanna come. Me say, me kind questions ni be na free.
Oh boy.
And everything on my light of 5 a.m. On my light of 5 a.m. with the whole area, about almost 5 p.m. And I'm a of the CR and I'm in Tiasen. Jobu do no matter. But lawyer, your next program, you wrap it up. We now kind of dinner. Because I only 1 or 2 be and son. Yeah. I think now we kind of dinner.
Because
Mamma own kind we na okay, and take it away. Kingsford.
Okay, hi. Can one switch from a dependent visa to an EU status? Well, dependent visa, let's say a skilled or health and care worker dependent to an EU status. Now, the EU law is no longer working in itself as an EU law. But because of the Brexit, what is happening is even if you marry an EU national, it will be considered under the UK law because the date of the marriage is after the Brexit, which means the date of the marriage is in after 2020 December, and therefore it will be considered under the UK law, not under the EU law. So that is what it is. But look, call me and let me give you more information. But it could be possible here and there depending on the circumstances. So DJ, I think I just need to wrap it up because my other program has started. Please, how long does it take a decision? Because I'm an EU national and I get 6 months now. The decisions are taking about 6 months or more. So give and take, that is how long it's taking, about 6 months. I have 2.5 BRP and I want to switch to marriage document. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. If you marry, you can switch to the spousal route or the partner route. It is possible to switch to that program. Yeah. I'm so sorry, but I think that Dumsono never say let's see.
Yeah. So lawyer wisdom call me that say for address no to the phone number now show screen so no office location and sign it out. Nyame aduma went me answer questions and next week. Next week Friday, Fabrantem 5:30 GMT. Ghana time 5:30. Who UK 6:30. But join here. And the lawyer for office location to the
Thank you. Your wise man solicitors, suite 8 to 9, the print house, 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, Dalston, London, E8 3DL. Your Dalston Junction behind the McDonald's, close to the Dalston Market. EA3DL. Telephone numbers I was screen this 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. And the mobile number is 079 31 411 042. 07931 411 042. These are the details. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Nyame adom next week you bekasa. Okay, lawyer na moto in Kano live on SBTV Africa. So every Fridays be amene no ha. And also subscribe to your channel so bo many lawyer Aba on US mene na programs every week be the program ne ba your English version one ewo twi one of SBTV Africa wo ho channel bo the videos wo ho important information is for the US and English channel so SVTV International subscribe to and also SVTV Africa SVTV International and your English channel so obasa channel so anonymous bia opeso share the story and say bi obrofuma ye ne ko ona ya edim de Ghana de nde SVTV Africa medama say some of share mo join ne nyina medama say Kingsford Opoku what medase James Saki medama say Honorable Abrakwa Stephen medase Khalif saying medama say Tom Ovosu medama say Frank Bobby medase Irene Aka medase Richard Buensi medase Don Asna TV medase Kwatin Bismarck medase Lucas medamase se mo join SBTV Tetesaki medamase mo amushe nya no medamase mame we are there pa mame ya na send me WhatsApp we SBTV Africa fan mo so share pa ya send me WhatsApp na ending go why are there they be all follow you and big ups to your secretaries to DJ who YouTube Charlie yeah link it up Sewa Juliet thanks so much Vida Connie medase Samuel Matthew and medase Richard okay medase munya medamase mon subscribe to your channel me drop it after we know you drop it story be hot story be pa our YouTube channel until follow ya obenya notification no ahwe bi na me Brazil me na brante ba ko witwe nkomo na the story na nyebete hey me tapachula foi Nicaragua nesa ko YouTube channel betwe videos interviews in there na me Kamashi me release me Kamashi in the videos there do subscribe here now share it's gonna be the videos the ba obenya notification ti bebre na share but let me educate you on the tapping of the subscribe you know ariko pumia so I say follow yen who should be on Facebook I will follow the page who should be on TikTok I will follow no sa na ye kanti eno no madane na ye no subscribe in the nyesika je follow yen na mia adoma no so se na be ya the video to so obenye bi ahwe first me da man say mo share SBTV Africa be DJ nyame ye be link up mo share fresh video ye drop it after me signing out tour Charlie Makramo peace out
Charlie daybreak make we chop small Delight Cocoa
Delight Cocoa, the authentic, original taste of African porridge. Available in all African and Caribbean shops. Delight Cocoa. Ah,